Okay, just got finished adding in those little those little uh, heat sinks. So there's a couple of other additional details that we'll work on while we're doing the nacelle. Let's go back up to the top. And I found out why my images left me is because I've been having issues with my external hard drive where I save a lot of my pictures and stuff from. It strangely just disconnected. And that's starting to kind of worry me just a little bit that it's actually doing that because, well, a lot of my files and stuff are on this. So if it keeps doing stuff like that. I mean, if I lose it, I lose all my files. So I'm gonna have to back all this stuff up onto an additional hard drive or something, additional file, and just really just kind of just hope for the best. So let's go ahead and iron out those pylons a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna tell you what. Let's go ahead and give a quick break on that. And let's go ahead and work on some of the hull details that is on the secondary or on the saucer section here. So we go ahead and go to that. Now you don't see it on here, but I'm looking at the studio model, or not the studio model, but I guess once again, I think what is considered the official, unofficial, official image or toy or model of the ship from the movie. So I'm going to be going off of that. And it looks okay. So let's see what we can do. Front, top. We already got top over there. We're not seeing those extra hull details here, but I said I was going to go ahead and try to model all of this using the subdivision surface modifier added in. So let's go ahead and kind of work on that a little bit. Let's minimize that mirror modifier. And let's go ahead and put in the subdivision surface. And there we go. Let's take a look at it from the side to see if, whoops, not the top. I said the side. Okay, we do have some things we need to work on. Let's go ahead and apply that in edit mode. Here I want to kind of soften that out a little bit. Let's go ahead and temporarily unapply that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this entire edge loop here. Let's go back to our right, and let's do a control B to kind of, whoops, where is it? We're going to do control B. You're doing it too much. Doing it because it's around the center, more than likely. Control B. No, I only want this just to be ever so slightly. I might have to use my numbers. Control B. Why are you doing this? Okay, I, for whatever reason, cannot get the, so let's try 0.001. Okay, there we go. I had to use my numbers. For some reason, it's very sensitive. 0.002. Let's try that, and let's put in one mouse click to kind of round off that edge just a little bit more. Now let's go ahead and apply that subdivision surface modifier, or let's see it, see how that looks. Does that look a little more rounded? Oh, ever so slightly. Let's see, we might want to probably do it just a little bit more. So let's go ahead and go onto the right side. Let's go ahead and undo. No, I didn't want that. Solid mode. Let's do Control Z. Let's do, all right, Control B, 0.002. All right, let's double that. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with this. Select the edge loop. Control B, 0.002. And actually, let's just add one on that. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that looks much better right there. Looks much better. So let's do the same thing with the bottom real quick. Once again, another rinse and repeat. Control E on the edge loop. Control B, 0.002. Whoops. I didn't click it twice. So let's Control B, 0.002. And 1, 2. Control, oops, nope. Control E, edge loop. Control B, 0.002. This will once again help kind of really round off those edges. Let's go ahead, apply it, and see how that looks. Yeah, that looks much better. I could definitely work with that. It rounds it on so it's not a hard edge, but it's giving it, but it still retains a bit of a look that it is constructed and it's not, that's what I'm looking for, that it wasn't, oh, you know, wasn't like grown, that it was really hard made. So what we're going to need to do is clear out some of these. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing. We're just going to go ahead and do the same thing with all of these edges here. Some of them will probably do 0.2, some of them will do, or not, 1, maybe 2. And what this will also do is give us a, when we apply the modifier, it'll go ahead and try to keep a lot of those edges sharp. Now it keeps that edge sharp, and that's good. I like this little edge over here, but this edge where it meets the hull, we want to get rid of that. So I'm going to do a Control R and just shoot that straight down to the bottom like that. Now if I want to see how that looks, I can just go ahead and temporarily disable, oh no, not that, no, not that either. Oh, do I need to apply this first? Let's go into object mode. I might need to move this down. Now let's try it. Edit. There we go. Now I can see how this looks on one side, so I can do control, doing Control R is probably just going to mess me up, but I can move that along to see where that works. But you know, that looks pretty good right there. So we're getting a lot sharper edges and images. Same thing at the bottom. This here, let's go back to the right side. And come on, y'all say it with me. Y'all know, rinse and repeat. See, we can do a Control B, 0.002, and do that twice. Let's go ahead and temporarily disable, no, not that, disable this. Okay, and let's go ahead, finish this up. See, I don't like the way that this molds into that, so we're going to do a Control R down here, add an extra edge loop, and flush that in right there. Okay, see, applying that modifier, so we do need to put this back on top. There we go, for right now. And voila. Looks a lot better. So, I mean, you had to do a bunch of this stuff with the subdivision surface modifier put in, but once we apply, it's going to give us a lot more edges to work with, but it's also a lot more edges that we're going to have to deal with. Let's go ahead and clean up this area here where the window is at, and one way we can do that is just by going to face mode and do a Shift E to increase the edges, but as you can see by doing that, it does that. We don't want that. I want to try to get these edges. Now, another thing that we could do, let's try this. We found out that there is a inset. Let's see what happens if we inset faces. Nope, that doesn't work at all. So if we extrude, it does the same thing. So what we're probably going to have to do here, well, actually, let's try this. See if we Shift E on that. There we go. Okay, so we select all of those edge loops and then we do a Shift E. There we go. That works out. Now the only thing I don't like about doing it that way, and this is going to be something that you're going to have to call, is that, see, it also undoes the subdivision surface modifier here. So now we got jagged edge, jagged edge, jagged edge. If you don't like that look, then what you're going to have to do is go in and add in, press Control R and add in, you know, a whole bunch of different little edge loops in like that. And that looks a lot better. You're going to have some anomalies here that you're going to have to go in and fix once you apply that modifier to your model, but it definitely tries to make that a lot smoother. So it's a decision up to you about which way you want to do it. If you want to do it this way, or if you want to go ahead and select all of these faces like that and do Shift E. Same thing here, Shift E, and do it that way. It's strictly up to you. I'm going to let you decide. Here you don't have to worry about any of those anomalies that pop up that you're going to have to fix later on, but it's going to look a lot more jagged. But or you could do it the other way and keep it smooth. For this case, and just because this is a tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and keep it like that. And by doing, actually, no, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it this way. Because this way it also gives me a little bit extra control on the edge. So I can make it a sharp edge, or if I just come down just a little bit, I can make that edge just a little bit softer, as you can see right there. So I'll go ahead and keep it like that. We'll keep it like, we can always go back and change it a little bit later. Now here, okay, still need to go in and do a little bit more cleaning up on this. Let's see. How do we do that? Okay, I see what happened. All right. What I'm going to need to do here is here. Looks like this. There's like a little, definitely a bit of a deep channel in here. So I'm going to do an edge loop. We're going to do that Control B, 0.001. And then I'm going to extrude this down just ever so slightly. Oops. From the right. Extrude. Oh, help if I did this. There we go. Yeah. Just like that. And maybe that might be a bit too much. Bring it up. That way you have a more distinct edge along there. Then if I apply the subdivision surface modifier, it gives a much more distinct look from there to there. And oops. Then from here to fix this, do Control R. And let me go ahead and go out of this and do a Control R on this side as well. That should, yeah, there we go. Bring that up. Let's bring this down. On this other side, we should have an extra edge here somewhere. Okay, so it's right there. Control E, edge loop. Okay, I'm selecting the wrong edge. Control E, edge loop. That's the one I'm looking for right there. And I'm putting these extra edges in there just to make that a lot sharper with that subdivision surface modifier. Go. And there we go. It's looking pretty good there. So, all right. Bottom looks good. I am definitely happy with that. Well, that little edge there. Let me look at it from the right to see. Yeah, okay, that. Hold up. Okay. Let's see. That I could probably try making a little bit let's try this. There we go. That makes it look a little bit better. So I'm happy with that. I'm definitely happy with that. So, but we do have to go ahead and take care of this back section, which we knew we were going to have to deal with. We did fix some of the issues, but not all of them. And for this part, I'm probably going to have to, yeah, we're going to have to add in some extra additional edge loops into here to match up with these. Because if you see this, how this is all wonky, and see this is why I don't like these new ingons or non-gons or whatever they're called, because of this. Because when you apply the subdivision surface modifier, it doesn't know how to treat this face here. So to fix that, we're going to have to go in and add in some extra edge loops. So if I go ahead and go here, let's look at it from the top. We'll be able to get a much better look. Okay, so I'm there, and I want to add an edge loop that will meet up to that. So I can go in part way there. Then I can go ahead and do a K, select from there to there. That should give me all the additional vertices that I need. And if I did that right, those two vertices should automatically mold, which they do. So now by doing that, if I apply this subdivision surface modifier, see, it cleans it up. It cleans it up. But I just got to keep doing this on all of these little edges here. Okay, now when you're dealing with something like this, you have a lot of decisions that you want to make, such as, do you want to add edge loops or do you want to move edge loops? Like here, to try to keep this curve in here, I want to add an edge loop. So we're going to go ahead and add in another one. And also don't forget that whatever you do at the top, you're going to have to mimic at the bottom as well. So we have to go back to the bottom and add in all these extra edge loops as well. So there we go. Okay, we should have that, and that should be connected there. And once again, if we go into our view here, now I have a vertice which doesn't look like it belongs to anything. I got that selected. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens if we delete that vertice. Oh, no, it belongs to something. It definitely belongs to something. We'll fix that in a minute. All right, but like for this edge here, if I wanted to, I could actually make the decision to move that. So I can select that entire edge loop, Control E edge loop, and now I can move it over to there. Now it looks like there is an additional vertice there, which I'm going to have to move as well. Let's move this all over to here. I don't know why there are all these additional vertices here. I really don't. Now I can go there, select that, press Alt M, tell it to connect to last, and then now we'll square that away. And so I just continue moving along, and I do the same things here. And see, with these here, once again, I still have another decision that I make. Do I want to continue the edge loops and the topography going this way, or do I want to continue going this direction? And in this case, you know what? I don't think there's any. I'm just going to take this and this, and there we go. Move it to there. I don't know what that was. I have an idea, but I'm not positive. It might have something to do with all this stuff over there, which I'm going to have to fix. And I think I did do this slightly out of order. I probably should have fixed all of this first before I added in these edge loops here, but I can fix that later. So with all of these, let's go. Listen, this decision will be yours. Probably for this one here, I'll continue it along here. But then on this one here and all these others, we're going to continue it along this way. And once again, here's another one of these examples to where this, I can go ahead and take this edge loop, or just these vertices by themselves, if it lets me take it. Is it not letting me? No, yeah, it should. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, U, top. So I can take these and go ahead and move that over there. Once again, I don't know what that is. So I can move those over there. Ah, what happened? Let's go back to the top. Some weird stuff is going on, and sometimes that happens. That does sometimes happen. Okay, let's go ahead and 1, 2, Alt M at last. There we go. That should be all one vertex, yes. Back to the top. And let's go ahead and add in some additional edge loops along here. But once again, Control R, there. And let's go ahead and do a K, K. And that should line up nicely. Once again, double check our work. And there we go. We just keep repeating, repeating, and repeating until we get it all in. And once again, the topography on how you want this all to be run, it's going to ultimately have to be your decision. And part of that decision, in my personal opinion, will reflect, it's going to be based on what all you're going to want to do with the model, what all details you're going to be adding and how. So, such as here we have all these little details here, but I'm going to be adding those in a completely different way. I mean, I'm not going to try to extrude them into this model. That would just be, just be almost insane. And once again, I'm trying to work through this quickly, because I mean, I don't want to make this, into a multi-part episode or series or anything like that, because I want to try to make it where y'all can follow me along. But as we can see, as we're going through this, it's starting to clean this up a heck of a lot better. And we still got some issues we got to resolve here, which we can definitely take care of before we progress too far into this model. Okay, so we'll slowly but surely we'll take care of that. And so I think I probably did this a little bit out of order. It's okay. And here, just to show you what happens, it's actually, once again, it's easier if I just go ahead and do it this way. 1, 2, here we go. Now here we have another in-gone issue. If I go like, but I can fix, okay, no, we could fix this by simply just putting in a Control R there, and then K, and there. So now we got a quad there and a quad there and a quad there. So if we look at it, there we go. See, it's a lot better. Still not perfect. We still got some issues that we need to somehow resolve. But we'll get those issues resolved as we go through the model. Now we need to do the same thing once again from the bottom as well. So let me go ahead and do that off screen and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got a lot of that taken care of, but to continue this edge along here, I wanted to go ahead and jump in and kind of show you all about how I'm doing this. And it's not too dissimilar from what we've already done before, but once again, if y'all are not very well versed on Blender, or y'all looking for different ways to tackle issues like this, then I wanted to go ahead and kind of show y'all is I went ahead and just disabled the viewpoint on my mirror modifier so I can see this side of the ship, because if I had it on, it's kind of difficult to try to see and get that all lined up. So if I go to my left side or right side, depending on which side you're mirroring, and do a Control R along here, I can see where I'm working at. So I do a Control R. Now that control for some reason is not going through all the way, which that's okay. All I gotta do is, it's not continuing on. It's jumping right there, and I know why it's jumping. And actually I could fix that if I go ahead and there we go. It's because of the Ngon, which is right here. Ngon's another reason why I don't like these little, you know, a polygon with, if a polygon has less than or more than 4, Blender just doesn't really know how to work with it as far as cutting and subdividing and all that kind of stuff. So that's why you want to try to get as many polygons as possible. Now here, what I could do, let's look at it from the top, because once again I can go ahead and add an additional edges along here, or I sorry, repeated myself, or I can take this edge and move it, which looks like that's probably what I could do. And in fact, yeah, actually no, I'm going to go ahead and yeah, let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's go ahead and just add in a whole other edge. So, oops. Let's go ahead and move that in. I think it's right about there. Then if I go ahead and delete this face here, then select that, there we go. Now if I do a Control R, now see it goes ahead and it completes it all the way through the model. Now I want my left side, not my right side. So I go on to my left. Now I can do a Control R. Let's go into vertice mode so I can see the vertices that I'm working at. And I'm going to temporarily move this screen over here. And I'm going to try to get that as close as I can in line to that edge there. And I could go to the back to view it as well. Okay, that looks pretty close. And then, as you know, just Control K, or sorry, not Control K. I don't want to cut through the whole thing. I just want to cut through the visible faces. And when that square looks like, if it's an X, it's in the face. If you don't see an X, but a little green, or not an X, but a little green square, if the square turns red, like that, you're right over the other vertice. Click there, press enter, and that fixes that. Now, and I can go in and continue adding in additional edge loops. Once again, rinse and repeat. Control, let's move in a little bit more. K, go there, there, boom. And let's add in another one. K, K, there. And I could go ahead, and actually that other one I could just leave because that is now a polygon. In fact, if I do a Control R, see that edge? Yeah, see, that's what I want right there. You notice how this is that line, that purple line is continuing along here? That's what I want. That means that my topography is right where I need to. And if I go ahead and add that in, looking a little bit better. Now, some reason it's cutting across there. I think that is, yeah, it's that one. Part of that, so we'll look at that as we go ahead and go through and try to clean up all of this. So let me go ahead and go back out and finish cleaning this up, and I'll cut back in if I see anything that looks like it'd be an important little tip or trick that y'all might want to see in this tutorial.